Now batting, the second baseman, number 6, Tyler Carafa.
Back at Falcon Park in Auburn, New York. Gorgeous night for baseball rolls on past the 9:30 mark here in this nightcap between the 7th seed St. Joseph's and the number 2 seed Salisbury. SJC back to the dish with the 9-hole hitter, Tyler Carafa, the second baseman, against the starting pitcher Connor Reeves. Muscles it out toward right field. It falls out of play, and the catch is made by the first baseman, Jay Perry.
Now batting, the right fielder, number 31, Tyler Costa.
So Reeves, after allowing that solo shot to Lou Doria, who's right now standing in the on-deck circle, back in the first inning, has settled in nicely. 3 strikeouts and only 1 base runner allowed. Strike 1 dealt to Tyler Costa. Costa batting .303 on the season. 18 of 19 trying to steal bases, the 0-1. Outside with a fastball, 1-1. 1-1 offering from Reeves. Ties up the batter Costa, and it's a 1-2 count. St. Joe's 26-16 this season, 13-5 in the Skyline Conference, and they won the league tournament. That's why they're here. The automatic qualifier bid as Costa stays alive with the foul ball. Last year they dominated that Skyline Conference. 15-3 in the regular season, but they could not win the tournament. Upset fashion. They missed out on an at-large bid as well. The 1-2 from Reeves. Taken outside. Nice job by Costa to stay off that one. Costa grounded out to the first baseman to open up this game. Hard hit ground ball, fouled on the third base line. Tyler Costa, 6 foot even. The junior stands on the lefty box. Pokes it out to shallow center field. Coming in, Justin Meekins. He makes the play for the second out.
Now batting, the left fielder, number 34, Lou Doria.
In next, it's the man responsible for the 1 SJC run. Lou Doria hit that solo bomb back in the first inning. Now he takes ball 1 from Connor Reeves. Doria struggled this year. He hit just .208 during the season, but don't let that number fool you. 1-0, missed low again with a fastball, 2-0. You might be wondering why he's batting in the 2-hole if he's just a .208 batter. Last year he was all-region second team in New York, according to a couple different media outlets. 2-0 pitch, big swing and a miss. He was also all-conference first team in the Skyline. He slugged .722. His OBP was .481. He takes ball 3 here. Batting average was .361. That dipped again all the way down to .208 this season. But it only took 1 at-bat here in the NCAA tournament for us to see that pop on display. Swings through the 3-1 pitch, so it's a full count. Here comes the 3-2. Just gets a piece and chops it straight back. And Lou Doria up at the plate right now, 6'4", the lefty batter with that big looping swing. Kind of reminds you of Joey Gallo. Kind of a home run or nothing type of deal. Payoff pitch, swing and a miss. Right on cue. 4 strikeouts for Connor Reeves through 3 innings. But that 1 home run allowed to Lou Doria. It's 2-1 Salisbury after they put that 2 spot up on the board. In the bottom half of the second, looking to add to that lead when we come back.
Fans,
Bottom of the third
the
inning.
NCAA apparel store behind the third base stands will close at the conclusion of the 4th inning. Again, the NCAA apparel store will close for the night at the end of the 4th inning. Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to the bottom of the third. pretty down and in.
What's your
Yeah, okay, so I didn't even go to the other game.
Leading off, the shortstop, number 1, Scott Arwood.
3, 4, and 5 due up for the number 2 team in the New York Regional, the Salisbury Seagulls, already on top 2-1 over the 7 seed St. Joseph's here in Game 1 for both teams. First man in, Scott Ardo in the shortstop, ducks out of the way of the first pitch from Anthony Papa. It's a 1-0 count. Ardo went on the season a .341 batter. Here comes the 1-0. Chopped off the end of the bat toward the shortstop Arucci. On it to first in time. 1 down.
Now batting, the designated hitter, number 25, Jack Decker.
So Ardoin drops to 0-2 on the day. 0 for 2 on the day, I should say. Jack Decker comes up next, the DH. Grounded out to the third baseman Sanderson to open up the second inning. That was before the floodgates sort of opened for Salisbury, putting up that 2 spot in the bottom of the second to take a 2-1 lead. First pitch up and outside to Decker. Comes into this one, rocking an average of .388. That's not bad. The 1-0 from Anthony Papa. Breaking ball dives low and outside, 2-0. One finds the inside corner, 1-2. Check that, 2-1 the count. Decker comes into this one riding an 8-game hit streak, including multiple hits in 3 of those games. 2-1 pitch, in on the hands, just barely missed, 3-1. Our umpires for tonight's game, behind the dish, Rudy Fernbach. First base, Dave Gabor. Second base, Sean Martin. Third base, Andy Draper. 3-1 pitch from Papa. Grounded foul down the third base line. Payoff pitch upcoming. 8 total umpires here today for this 4-game set on a gorgeous Thursday in Auburn. This group umped the second game and now the 4th game. First group got the first game and then the 3rd game, and they rotated positions. 3-2 from Papa. Breaking ball right down the pipe. Strike 3.
Now batting, the second baseman, number 8, Will Rosenquist.
Up next, Will Gudakust out of East Northport, New York, and he ducks under a pitch as well. We've seen that a few times already tonight. High breaking balls or fastballs that hang around the helmet area for these guys, and they've got to think in their feet right at the last second, move out of the way of that pitch so they don't get their heads taken off. 1-0 pitch. That one's high as well to the 5'9", 165 Will Gudakust. Batting .292 on the season. 2-0 pitch from Papa. Frozen rope out to shallow right center field, I should say, and Burnett is underneath it, and he makes the catch basket style. So a 1-2-3 bottom of the 3rd for Anthony Papa and St. Joseph's. Still a 2-1 lead for Salisbury. We're a third of the way done.
What was the question they asked about the MVPs? The NFL, 1962? What's the question?
So, it is in 1962, the 4 MVPs of the National League, American League, NFL, and AFL were all number 32.
Okay.
Can you name all 4?
62?
1962, yeah.
All right, so
One of them is 30.
I wasn't here. I wasn't here for the question.
Andy's going to nail this. He's 25.
Sandy Koufax, yeah. Koufax, 32. 62. I said Jim Brown originally. Is that Jim Brown, right? Sorry, AL, NL, AFL, NFL. That's what we're saying. Okay.
These next two are the top ones.
So I got the NL. Oh, Frank Howard.
Now batting, the first baseman, number 7,
Not
Paul
Frank Howard.
Britt.
Elston Howard.
Frank Howard is the surface number. Elston Howard is right. Yeah.
Elston.
Right. I'll give you the rest of the game to get this last one.
AFL.
Yeah.
3 innings in the books. Number 2 versus number 7, Salisbury against St. Joe's. Top of the 4th inning for the Golden Eagles. 3-4-5 due up, and Paul Britt jumps all over the first pitch he sees and sends it deep to left field. Kyle Canavan makes the catch right on the warning track.
Now batting, designated hitter, number 15, Dylan Piscatelli.
Emerson Boozer.
And next, the cleanup hitter, Dylan Piscatelli, the designated hitter, reached via the infield single back in the first inning. The wind and the delivery from Reeves. Fastball on the lower edge, 0-1. Stinger on the ground right at the shortstop. Ardoin picks it up on the hop, and his throw is not in time. That's going to be an error on the shortstop, so both shortstops charged with an error already tonight. One for St. Joseph's, a little more costly. Charge to Anthony Rucci that allowed a run to score when the bases were full. That time it just allows Piscatelli to reach first base safely. Still 1 down in the top of the 4th. Connor Reeves has still only allowed 2 hits. One of them a solo home run to Lou Doria back in the first inning. Check of Piscatelli over at first base. Piscatelli on the season, 7 of 7, trying to swipe backs. Chopper toward third. Are they going to try to get him at second? No, they will not. The third baseman, Barry, goes to first base, makes the smart play. Runner advances to second, so that's where Piscatelli stands right now. Sanderson goes down on the 5-3.
Number 21, Anthony Rucci.
That brings up Anthony Rucci. 348 batting average on the season. Runner at second, Dylan Piscatelli. Rucci at the dish. Here comes the pitch from Reeves from the stretch. Drifts across the plate, does that breaking ball from Reeves, but does not find any of the black. The numbers on Reeves, again, are just eye-popping, especially when you take a look at the game log. Fastball right back to his dome. He gets out of the way, but that one trickles into center field. Meekins picks it up. No throw to the plate. We're tied again. Anthony Rucci comes up big with the stinger up the gut. It's an RBI single. 2-2 in the top of the 4th. So that run against Reeves is unearned because Piscatelli reached first base safely on the air by the shortstop, Scott Ardoin. Took second on the ground out by Sanderson, and now he scores on the RBI single by Anthony Rucci. So Rucci stands at first base, 2-2 ball game. Swing and a miss by Matthew Burnett. Now, if you're Connor Reeves, you're probably upset with your shortstop Ardoin for a couple of reasons. 1, an extra run is on the scoreboard for St. Joe's. 2, you almost got killed on that single because the inning was kept alive. Had to show off the reflexes, did Reeves, to get out of the way of that one. That might be more impressive than any of the numbers we've shown so far. 0-1 pitch, swing and a chopper right off the foot. It really did look like he was in the Matrix there. You take the red pill, your ERA is 1.22. You take the blue pill, you strike out 103 batters. You take both, you're Connor Reeves. The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3, gets away from the catcher. Casual throw to first base by Matt Padway, and that'll do it for the top of the 4th. A run comes across the plate, unearned. RBI single goes to Anthony Rucci. We're tied at 2, headed to the bottom of the 4th inning.
Chiefs, Raiders, Jets, Broncos.
Now then, the catcher, number 24, Matt Padway.
Matt Padway leads things off in the bottom of the 4th for Salisbury. Tied 2-2 as the Seagulls look to hold off the pesky 7-seed St. Joe's in this New York Regional. First pitch comes from Anthony Papa, and it's poked out to right field for a base knock. 1 pitch, 1 hit in the bottom of the 4th. Padway's 2 for 2. And both times Padway has gone to the opposite field, shooting it right back where it came from Anthony Papa. Man, this game has been fun so far. Both these fan bases are incredibly charged up. You can feel the excitement in the air here at Falcon Park. Colby Dean in next for Salisbury. Shows bunt right away, pulls it back, and takes ball 1. Padway stands at first base. 3 for 5 on the season in stolen bases. Dean walked back in the second, came around to score the second run for the Seagulls. Small lead at first for Padway. Here comes the 1-0. Again bunt shown, again pulled back, this time different result with a strike. Really is impressive the number of Salisbury fans who are here considering how far away it is. All the way in Salisbury, Maryland, which is right below the border of Delaware. Bunt laid down by Colby Dean. Play made by the third baseman Tyler Sanderson, who sidesteps along the mound and fires to first in time to retire Dean, but the sac bunt is effective. So Padway moves into scoring position. 1 down for Salisbury here in the bottom of the 4th. And speaking of Salisbury, Maryland, again, right below the border of Delaware on the Delmarva Peninsula. I believe that's how you say it. Delmarva? Guess who's playing there right now? The Hagerstown Suns, another one of the affiliates of the Washington Nationals, just like the Auburn Doubledays, who play right here at Falcon Park. Jay Perry, the first baseman, in next for Salisbury. 1 for 1 on the day. He singled back in the second. Hagerstown 1 level above Auburn. They play their games down the East Coast. Here comes the 1-0. Suns have been in action for a while as that pitch is a strike, so the count moves to 1-1. Doubledays start their season less than a month from today. June 15th, come out to Falcon Park and catch a game as Auburn hosts Batavia. Ready for the 1-0 pitch. Perry takes it. Beg your pardon, it's now 2-1. At second base, Matt Padway after he singled for the second time tonight, and we're still just in the 4th inning. 2-1 pitch from Papa. Breaking ball descends into the strike zone, 2-2. Papa looking to get out of this little jam. 2-2 pitch. Goes foul, so Perry stays alive. Perry, a .277 hitter this season. Started all 43 games for Salisbury. 33 wins, just 10 losses. 8 of those 33 wins have come in their last 8 games. They're scorching hot. 2-2 pitch. Clobbered out to deep left field. Doria moving back near the track. He reaches up and he makes the play. Lou Doria tracks it down at full speed, hurtling toward the warning track. And before he slams into the wall, he slams the brakes. And a nice catch made on that line drive off the bat of Jay Perry. It's a loud second out here in the bottom of the 4th. Kyle Canavan in next for Salisbury. Takes ball 1 up high. Speaking of Maryland and the whole DMV area, if you're a hockey fan, update on the Capitals and Lightning Game 4. Right now tied 2-2. Washington and Tampa Bay go to the 3rd period deadlocked at a couple goals apiece. Second pitch to Kyle Canavan. Skied in foul territory, and the catch is made by the first baseman, Paul Britt. So soft and so smooth. It's a 2-2 game as we head to the top of the 5th inning. St. Joe's giving Salisbury all it can handle after 4.
Hey James, I'll take you home tonight if we go out to the bar and you buy me a shot. Fireball? You know I'm always for Fireball.
God, that sounds fantastic.
It really does.
Oh my God.
Yeah, one thing, guys, having been through a bunch of these, it's our 4th game, but these guys understand what it's like.
No, I know.
So I get it.
It really helps if there's so much energy.
Can't be written shots at Fireball. No, this is after.
Yeah.
Leading off the top of the 5th, the catcher, number 18, Daniel Campanelli.
4 innings in the books. This one has been a joy so far. St. Joe's, the 7 seed, looking to knock off the 2 seed here in this New York Regional, the Salisbury Seagulls. And so far, it's been a back and forth affair. 1 run in the top of the 1st for St. Joe's, 2 in the bottom of the 2nd for Salisbury, 1 more in the top half of the 4th, and we are tied at 2. Top of the 5th now, Daniel Campanelli, the catcher for the Golden Eagles, swings through the first pitch from Connor Reeves. We've already read you a couple of the numbers for Connor Reeves in the entire season. They're incredible. 0-1, swing and a miss. 0-2. 1.22 ERA, 110 innings, 103 strikeouts, just 16 walks, a 165 opponent batting average, 13-3 the record. But if you take a look at his last 3 starts, they might be even more impressive. 0-2 ground ball, so the second baseman, I should say, Will Gutenkoost on it. Over to the real first baseman, Jay Perry, for the first out of the frame.
Now batting, second baseman, number 6, Tyler Kraft.
That brings up Tyler Kraft, the third baseman. But in Connor Reeves' last 3 starts, 8 innings against Penn State Harrisburg, allows 1 run. It was earned. And 2 hits. Then May 4th in the conference tournament against number 6 York, 9 innings. He allows 5 hits and no runs. Then May 11th against Penn State Harrisburg again in the conference tournament, 9 innings, 4 hits, no runs. He deals ball 1 here to Tyler Kraft. So if you're doing the quick math, that's 18 plus 8, 26 innings, and 1 run combined in his last 3 starts. 2-0 is the count to Tyler Kraft. Tough to hit his strike zone. He's 5'6". This time he pokes it out to right field, drifting foul. And it lands past the clubhouse down the right field line where the visitors suit up here at Falcon Park. Krafa this year, yeah, he's the 9-hole hitter, but he's also batting .356. Third best on the team. 2-1. Again, hard hit, but again opposite field, and again in foul territory. 2-2. Krafa last year was out of this world. His batting average was .431. On base percentage, .494. The 2-2. Nubbed foul again. Same direction, off to the right side. This year the average dipped a little bit, but if your average is dipping to .356, that means you're pretty good. Back in the box, ready for the 2-2 from Reeves. Half swing sends it dribbling down the third baseline. Barry on it there, throwing the run in time. What a play at the hot corner. Back in the box, ready for the 2-2 from Reeves. Half swing sends it dribbling down the third baseline. Barry on it there, throwing the run in time. What a play at the hot corner. So 2 up, 2 down so far in the top half of the fifth. Back to the top of the lineup for Tyler Costa. Swings at the first pitch. This one goes to the shortstop, Ardoin, and the stretch at first base. That's an out. Jay Perry goes splits gymnastic style at the bag, and both corners of the infield for Salisbury are making incredible plays here in the top of the fifth inning. Still tied up at 2. St. Joe's goes down in order in that top half of the fifth. Salisbury's got the top 1, 2, 3 when we come back in the bottom half of the frame.
What team?
Bills.
What's the Bills?
Dude, I know you know sports like the back of your dick. But
Yeah, Captain 12.
This is it.
What's that? I think number 12. No, he wasn't 12. I think he was 10.
I had never even heard of this game. And I mean, like, 1962, like, I don't know a lot of guys from 1962, but
Now batting, the center fielder, number 11, Justin Meekins.
Cookie Gilchrist.
Okay, the coach. You never heard of Cookie Gilchrist? He actually just got his name put up on the Ring of Honor.
Halfway through this one, maybe a little bit extra though, between Salisbury and St. Joe's, tied up at 2 as we head to the bottom of the fifth. Jumping all over the first pitch, Justin Meekins, and a nice play made at third base by Tyler Sanderson.
Now batting, the third baseman, number 22, Jack Barry.
And it makes me happy to report that these fans and players here at Falcon Park, as we come up on 10 o'clock at night, have not lost any energy. Still hooting and hollering for pretty much every play and pretty much every pitch. So Meekins drops to 0 for 3 on the night. That brings up Jack Barry, who made maybe the defensive play of the night in the top half of this frame. First pitch from Anthony Papa, low and outside in this 22 versus 22 battle. Barry batting .423 on the season, but 0 for 1 so far tonight. Big looping breaking ball in the outside. Just catches the edge of the zone, 1-1. One pitch, off the end of the bat and foul off to the right side, 1-2. Barry walked in the first inning and then was caught stealing on his way to second. In the second inning, strikeout looking with the bases full. It's exactly the guy you want at the plate if you're a Salisbury fan. Did not come through in the clutch. This time he does. Hard hit ground ball right up the middle, and it's a base knock for Jack Barry. Hit .423 in the regular season for good reason.
Number 1, Scott Arwin.
That brings up Scott Ardoin, the runner at first base. And even though I said it's maybe not Jack Berry's best night, he's reached safely 2 out of 3 times. Ardoin, though, 0 for 2. A 341 hitter on the season. The Salisbury lineup, 6 of the 9 batters above 300, and they're above by a mile. First pitch to Ardoin, hard stinger, foul off to the right side. The guy who's closest to that mark and still above at 300 is Matt Padway at 313. Aside from that, Colby Dean at 328, Ardoin at 341, Meekins at 369, 388 Jack Decker, and then that 423 for Jack Berry. This team can tear the cover off the ball. They've only put up a couple of runs so far as we sit in the bottom of the 5th. Anthony Papa still on the hill for St. Joe's. The 0-1. Up and outside, 1-1. That time looked like it might have been the same spot, but a little bit further down in the zone, so it's 1-2. Papa just crossed the 50 pitch mark. He's now at 52. An even 26-26 strikes and balls. Pitch way upstairs. There goes Berry again trying to steal. He was caught back in the second. Or check that the first, and this time he's safe. Throw from the catcher Campanelli might have been a little bit rushed. So Berry's in there safely. So Berry 1 for 2 on the night. 7 of 10, 7 of 11 I should say, on the season. That pitch was way up and in on Ardoin, so it's a 2-2 count. Shortstop Rucci keeping Berry honest over at second. Papa has allowed 3 walks, but he has not walked anyone in the last 3 innings. We'll see if the broadcaster jinx applies right here. Payoff pitch. No walk. High pop fly into left center field. Doria, the left fielder underneath, called off by the center fielder Burnett. He makes the play.
Now batting, the designated hitter, number 25, Jack Decker.
Berry stays put at second base, and that brings up Jack Decker, the designated hitter. Decker, 388 batting average on the season, 497 OBP. He also drove in 29 runs. A base knock here could bring in the speedy Berry. Decker 0 for 2 so far tonight with a ground out and a looking strikeout. This time goes the opposite field. Tyler Costa settles underneath, and he makes the play, and that's the inning. Through 5 at Falcon Park in the nightcap between Salisbury and St. Joe's. Deadlocked at 2 runs apiece.
You said 1915?
Now then, the left fielder, number 34, Lou Doria.
First pitch to Lou Doria on the outer edge. 0-1 to the guy who put the first run on the scoreboard back in the top of the first with a solo shot. 0-1, missed low and away, 1-1. Connor Reeves still on the bump for Salisbury. Reeves gave up that solo blast in the first, also allowed a run in the fourth. 2-1 the count after that one missed outside. Aside from that, second inning, 1-2-3. Third inning, 1-2-3. Fifth inning, 1-2-3. Might have the highest ceiling of any pitcher in the country. High chopper towards second base. Gutenkunst on it for Salisbury, and he makes the throw in time. Doria digging down that first base line. Gutenkunst, quick and nimble with the play at second. That brings up Paul Britt. Talked a lot about Jack Barry's .423 batting average. Paul Britt's pretty good in his own right, batting .406 this year. 128 at bats. The on-base percentage above 500. Swings at the first pitch he sees and misses. 0 for 2 so far tonight, with a backwards K in the first inning and then a fly out to left field in the fourth where he jumped all over the first pitch. Did the same thing here and missed, and now it's 0-2. Salisbury in its 24th NCAA tournament, looking for World Series appearance number 6. 0-2 pitch up and away, and it might have gotten lost by Matt Padway right off his glove. This might be the most impressive, I should say, stat about Salisbury, though. 11 straight 30-win seasons. 1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Connor Reeves certainly worthy of wearing that Salisbury uniform. 6 strikeouts so far tonight, up to 109 on the season. Came in with 103, which was tied for 6th most in the country coming into the NCAA tournament. His ERA of 1.22, also top 10 in the nation. Brings up Dylan Piscatelli. First pitch to him, right down Main Street with that moving changeup. 0-1. Piscatelli has reached safely in both of his trips to the dish, did it in unorthodox fashion both times. 0-1, a fastball outside. Back in the first inning, an infield single for Piscatelli. Then in the fourth, reached on the air. And he scored in the fourth as well to tie this one up at 2. Here's the 1-1. Toward third base, Barry on it there for Salisbury. Little hitch in the throw, and it gets away from the first baseman, Perry. Piscatelli trying to take advantage, and he does with the Superman dive 10 feet into second base. That'll be ruled a hit for Piscatelli, so his second infield single of the night. Then he advances on the error on the throw. So it's a hit, and then an E5. 4th hit of the evening for St. Joe's so far tonight. Second error charged to Salisbury. Last time Salisbury committed an error, back in the 4th inning, Piscatelli advanced safely, came around to score. We'll see what happens here. In next for St. Joe's, Tyler Sanderson. 0 for 2 so far tonight. Struck out to end the first, grounded out back in the 4th. The 1-0. Drops in there on the outer corner, 1-1. 1-1 on the way from Reeves to Sanderson. Fights it off foul, straight back, 1-2. So if you think about it in a way, Dylan Piscatelli just combined his first 2 at-bats into 1 here in the 6th. Infield single in the 1st, reached on an error in the 4th. Now in the 6th, infield single, moves to second on an error. The 1-2. Swung on hard, ground ball toward third base. Barry is on it for Salisbury, over to first, across the diamond in time, and the inning is over. Through 5.5, this one has been as advertised. Tied up at 2, going to the bottom of the 6th.
That's good stuff. grind is real. So I still come up with this.
I'm out, man. I give up.
I work at the hall.
Oh, for real?
Now batting, second baseman number 8, Will Gutekunst.
Bottom of the 6th here at Falcon Park in Auburn. Final game here on the first day of the New York Regionals in the D3 College Baseball Tournament. Drew Carter back with you. Glad you're along for this one. You picked a good one to tune in for. Salisbury, the number 2 seed. St. Joe's, the number 7 seed. Right now tied up at 2 in the bottom of the 6th. Salisbury, the home team by virtue of that higher seed, even though they're further away from home. They hail from Maryland, whereas St. Joe's hails from Long Island. Will Gutekunst back to the plate for the Seagulls against Anthony Papa, the starting pitcher, still on the bump for the Golden Eagles. The 1-2. Taken, just barely missed. It looked like the catcher Campanelli was going to frame that over the heart of the plate. Might have caught the black anyway. And now it's a 2-2. It's a Gutekunst. 0 for 2 so far on the day, including a strikeout. Hard hit ground ball through the gap on the right side of the infield. You really can feel the energy here, especially from the Salisbury faithful, when their team does something positive, and that would certainly qualify. A leadoff single for Will Gutekunst. He stands at first base. A lot of tough names today. I'd throw Gutekunst right up there with any of them. Matt Padway in next for the Seagulls. He's 2 for 2 on the day. Gutekunst takes his lead. Padway skies the bunt right back over our heads. You can hear the thud on the press box. It's 0-1. Padway in the regular season, .313 was the batting average. So far in the tournament, it's 1,000. He's 2 for 2 with a couple of singles. Back in the second, he came around to score. And then in the fourth, he led off that frame with a single again. Advanced to second base before he was retired and the inning ended. First base is Gutekunst. On the mound, it's Papa. At the dish, trying to save his base runner was Padway. And the call at second base is that Gutekunst is safe. That was a bang-bang play. They're right in the middle of the field. The throw from Campanelli appeared to be on time. Gutekunst slides in safely. Campanelli gunned down Barry back in the first, but ever since, Salisbury has still been aggressive on the base paths. The count is 0-2 to Padway, though, after that half-hearted swing. Missed inside with the off-speed change. Count moves to 1-2. Papa up to 81 pitches. Number 82 right to the shortstop, Anthony Rucci. Across the diamond to first base in time. 1 down.
Now then, the right fielder, number 6, Colby Dean.
That brings up Colby Dean, the number 7 hitter in this Salisbury lineup that's loaded top to bottom. 7-hole hitter, hits .328. Dean so far has not recorded an at-bat. He's been to the plate twice. He walked back in the second, sacrificed bunt then in the fourth. Gutekunst at second base. Bit of a pitch out maybe from Papa, or that one got away from him. Either way, it's 1-0. Another payoff pitch from Papa to Dean. Runners at first and second for Jay Perry, 1 of 2 so far on the night, the 8-hole hitter for Salisbury. Off the end of the bat and foul. Nubbed down the first baseline, 0-1. Perry with a single back in the second and a line out to left field in the fourth. Chance here to put his team back out in front. Runner in scoring position. Will Gutekunst standing at second after he swiped that back. Colby Dean at first after he walked for the second time tonight. St. Joe's infield at double play depth. 0-1 missed high and away, 1-1. Winner of this one moves on to tomorrow night's game. They'll face the 3-seed Southern Maine. Here's the 1-1. Big looping curve missed outside, 2-1. Southern Maine somehow escaped with an incredible win in this previous game. They were down 2-1 going to the bottom of the 8th inning, and they plated the game-winning run on an error by the shortstop. Here's a 2-1. Swung on, grounded toward shortstop. This could be 2. The relay to second, over to first in time, and that ends the inning. A 6-4-3 double play, the first one of the night. And Anthony Papa escapes. We're still tied at 2, headed to the top half of the 7th. St. Joe's hanging around as the 7 against the 2.
Hanging around. Him like you chick all night long.
What is that?
Rounders. I did, yes. Yeah, it's kind of. I don't know who that is.
Taylor Hall.
For hockey?
Yeah, finals for her.
Was that homie? Would you? I asking you what you said. Was it Verlander? Did you do a shutout? Complete shutout?
Now batting, the shortstop, number 21, Anthony Rucci.
Six innings in the books here in the nightcap, day 1 of the New York Regional here in the D3 Collegiate Baseball Tournament. Still tied at 2, St. Joe's, the 7-seed, Salisbury, the 2-seed. Golden Eagles back to the plate with Anthony Rucci, Matthew Burnett, and Daniel Campanelli. 6, 7, 8 due up for SJC. Connor Reeves dealing on the bump for Salisbury. Makes it a 1-2 count on the breaking ball on the outside edge. Reeves has found his rhythm as one of the top pitchers in the entire country. Here's your 1-2. Missed outside with a fastball that darted across the plate. Reeves top 10 in the country in both ERA at 1.22 and strikeouts with more than 100. He's already got 6 so far tonight. The 2-2 pitch. Laced foul off the end of the bat. And Anthony Rucci stays alive. He's 1 for 2 tonight with an RBI single back in the 4th. Aside from that first and 4th inning, Reeves has been nearly untouchable. This one high in the sky and foul, just barely over the netting and into the dugout for St. Joe's. Rucci on the season, a .348 batter. 135 plate appearances, tops on this team. Facing maybe his stiffest test of the season against Connor Reeves. Here's the 2-2. barely missed outside. The one was moving across the plate. We've got a full count now to Anthony Rucci. Reeves working quickly, wastes no time. Missed barely outside again.
Now batting, the center fielder, number 20.
First walk of the outing for Connor Reeves. Just his 17th of the season to go with 109 strikeouts. Both those fastballs that just barely missed outside in the eyes of Rudy Fernbach, the home plate umpire tonight, might have just nicked the upper right corner of the plate from our vantage point because they were both moving across the plate. Bunt laid down by Matthew Burnett in no man's land. Reeves on it, the nice scoop to first base to get the runner there. But Rucci moves over to second. Small ball for St. Joe's. That's what you got to do playing a powerhouse like
Now
Salisbury.
batting, the catcher, number 18, Daniel Campanelli.
You couldn't really ask for a better bunt than that. He almost beat it out. And it was a great play by Connor Reeves, too. Very athletic. Rucci at second base. Now at the dish, Daniel Campanelli, the catcher. Little catcher on catcher crime as he sends that one straight back toward Matt Padway. He appears to be all right. Reeves ready with the 0-1 to Campanelli. Fights it off high into right center field. Colby Dean, the right fielder, underneath it. He makes the catch. No tag chance for Rucci as Campanelli goes down via the F8. Or the F9, I should say.
Now batting, the second baseman, number 6, Tyler Grafton.
So a quick 2 outs for Connor Reeves here in the top of the 7th inning. He's gone 8, 9, and 9 innings in his last 3 starts. Tyler Craffa up next for St. Joe's, and he takes ball 1. Second baseman in the 9-hole tonight, 0 for 2. Swung at the first pitch he saw back in the 3rd, and then in the 5th inning, a little more patient, but still grounded out to third base. The 1-0. Fisted foul, 1-1. Reeves on the night, coming up on 90 pitches. More than 2/3 have been strikes. There's another one right there as that curveball just glides into the zone. 1-2 the count to Tyler Craffa. 2 down in the top of the 7th. Just barely gets the end of the bat on that one. Ardoin fights through the diversion and the splits again at first base from Jay Perry. This Salisbury infield taking care of business in spectacular fashion. Take a moment to stretch. It's the middle of the 7th inning. In the final game here at Falcon Park, St. Joe's 2, Salisbury 2. And the Seagulls a chance to break this one open when we come back.
Was that one of them? What a nut. He was a freaking.
He might have been MVP of the 91 World Series.
He was psycho. He was psycho. Jose Mesa was a closer.
Thinking of somebody else.
Mesa was a closer for the Indians. Yeah, we did.
Are you the Braves too, Joe?
Damn it, Ted Turner, put him on TV every day.
I know. That's what I got.
He was coming to my office earlier. Who the hell is deadlocked?
Dude. Right?
That's sick. Are you going to go to Chipper's induction?
Well,
I've seen the Braves in
yeah, night game. We got a game that day. And I want to go too.
Dude, just cancel it. We'll all go. Just take the
Listen, I know the groundskeeper. We can just. Sorry, watch out.
There you go.
Now batting, the left fielder, number 10, Kyle Canavan.
Still deadlocked at 2 as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Neither team has scored in the last 3 innings. St. Joe's tied this one up back in the top of the 4th with a 1 spot. Salisbury scored both of its runs in the 2nd ever since Anthony Papa's been lights out. First batter he faces in this frame, the 9-hole hitter, Kyle Canavan. The 1-0 pitch to Canavan, swing and a miss. 0-2 to Canavan, who's 0 for 1 on the night. He did walk back in the 2nd. Papa missed outside with a breaking ball, and that walk was an RBI walk. With the bases full, Canavan drove in a run. The 1-2, missed low and away, this time with a fastball. Canavan, 214 on the season. One of the lone blemishes in this otherwise very impressive roster and lineup for Salisbury. The 2-2. Catches the outside corner with a breaking ball.
Now batting, the center fielder, number 11, Justin Meekins.
Fourth strikeout of the evening for Anthony Papa. He's been money ever since giving up those 2 runs back in the 2nd, and only 1 of them was earned. Missed outside with the first pitch to Justin Meekins. Some action in the St. Joseph's bullpen right now. Anthony Caminiti and Nick Clemente both up and warming. Clemente, the lefty, Caminiti, the righty. Number 11 and number 13 right next to each other on the roster. But if you're head coach Richard Garrett, don't really see a reason to pull Papa right now. The 1-1 drifts low and away, 2-1. The 2-1 pitch to Meekins. Lifted high, right field. Costa giving chase. Right on the foul line, he makes the play.
Now batting, third baseman, number 22, Jack Barry.
And next for Salisbury, Jack Barry, .423 the batting average on the season. He's 1 of 2 so far tonight, plus a walk. Here's the first pitch from Papa, missed low and inside. 1-0, but Papa has been absolutely outstanding so far tonight. Coming up on 106 pitches right here. Missed upstairs, 2-0. Not extremely efficient, probably by his standards. 58 strikes on those 106 pitches. So barely above 50% is the strike rate. But aside from that, you can't complain. Here's the 3-0. Drops into the zone, 3-1. The guy who's going to get the headlines on the mound tonight, Connor Reeves. 122 ERA, 103 strikeouts, flashier numbers. 3-1, not sure where that missed for Papa, but it's a walk. His 4th of the night.
Now batting, the shortstop, number 1.
Again, the command issues, and I say command issues in relative terms, because he's given up those 5 walks, but aside from that, he's been relatively flawless. Aside from those 5 walks, he's been so good. Gave up the 2 runs in the 2nd. Ever since then, a 1-2-3 inning. 1 hit in the 4th, 1 hit in the 5th, 1 in the 6th. He's really scattering them around. Missed upstairs with a fastball, and now the catcher, Daniel Campanelli, wants to talk things over. Pitching now to Scott Ardoin. 0 for 3 so far on the day. Last time at the dish in the 5th inning, he flew out to left center field. Runner at first is Jack Barry, who's already tried to steal twice. He was caught back in the 1st, and he did steal in the 5th. 2-0 the count to Auburn. Another pitch missed barely up high. And you can tell Papa knows exactly who is standing over there at first base. Barry not particularly aggressive in the regular season. Only tried to steal 9 times, and he was successful 6 times. Auburn lifts it out to right field. Costa underneath. Costa the catch. 2 innings left. We're tied at 2. And the 2-seed Salisbury is looking to stave off the number 7 seed St. Joe's. Come back for the top of the 8th as the Golden Eagles look to break this tie with the top of the order coming up next. Costa, Doria, and Britt on the other side.
I like him in the press conference.
Leading off the top of the 8th, the right fielder, number 31, Tyler Costa.
1-2-3 due up for St. Joe's in the top of the 8th inning. It starts with Tyler Costa. They're going to have to do it against the guy who has really befuddled them all night long, Connor Reeves, one of the marquee pitchers in the country. Costa shows bunts, gets a piece. It's strike 1, goes right back behind the plate. That was pitch number 94 for Reeves, and strikeout number 70. Or strike number 70. Wow, 70 strikeouts would be impressive. You'd have to play a heck of a long game for that. Almost 75% of his pitches have been strikes, and he might have gotten there with that pitch right there. 71 out of 95. Reeves demonstrating unreal command of the strike zone so far. The 1-1 to Costa. Swing and a miss. That was the 0-2, and that's strike 3.
The left fielder, number 34, Lou Doria.
Lou Doria in next, one of the few Golden Eagles who's been able to get to Reeves tonight. And he did it right off the bat, no pun intended. Solo home run back in the first inning. The 0-1 from Reeves, missed low and away, 1-1. Reeves in a groove, but he's coming up on 100 pitches, and there is some action in the Salisbury bullpen. 1-1 missed outside, 2-1. Jimmy Atkins, the freshman righty, is up and warming for the Seagulls. One down in the top of the 8th, 2-1. Fouled off, straight back, 2-2. Both these fan bases came in extremely charged up, maybe waiting for some action as this game has really settled down. No runs for the last 3 full frames. The 2-2. Catches the outside corner. Connor Reeves is cooking. Back-to-back strikeouts, one of them swinging, one of them looking. He's up to 8 on the night, and he's past 110 on the season. Paul Britt in next for St. Joe's, and he smokes it down the left field line. Could be extra bases as he leaps all over the first pitch from Reeves. Britt digs for second. He's in standing up, and it's a 2-out, 2-bagger for St. Joe's.
Now batting, the designated hitter, number 15, Dylan Piscatelli.
That's the first hit of the night for Paul Britt. Came in with an average of .406, so it was only a matter of time. First team all-conference this year, after he was second team all-conference last year. Britt had his 7-game hit streak snapped in the regular season finale. Dylan Piscatelli in next for St. Joe's. He takes strike one from Reeves, and Piscatelli has had himself a pretty interesting night. Infield single back in the first. Reached on an error in the fourth and scored. Then in the sixth, he combined the two things. Now a frozen rope right at the shortstop. Scott Ardoin picks it off, and we are going to the bottom of the eighth with the same score. Tied up at 2, Connor Reeves. St. Joe's, he takes strike one from Reeves, and Piscatelli has had himself a pretty interesting night. Infield single back in the first. Reached on an error in the fourth and scored. Then in the sixth, he combined the two things. Now a frozen rope right at the shortstop. Scott Ardoin picks it off, and we are going to the bottom of the eighth with the same score.
Out of everyone in the 2003 ALCS, we're the only 2 people from that series managing in the big leagues.
Eric Gould.
That's one. No.
Troy Levine.
No.
Managing it from the ALCS? Joey Core or Alex Core?
Callaway.
Now batting, the designated hitter, number 25, Jack Decker.
Bottom of the eighth inning, Salisbury back to the plate. They have not scored since the second. The number 5 for the Seagulls, leading things off here, the cleanup man, Jack Decker. Designated hitter 0 for 3 so far tonight. Reaches down for a low pitch. Costa gives chase, loses the hat, and still makes the play. Johnny Damon-esque out in right field. He has retired 3 of the last 4 batters for Salisbury. Meekins flew out to right field, then a walk for Jack Berry. Ardoin flew out to right field. Decker flies out to right field. Costa's been all over the place, getting his steps in out and right. Will Gutekunst up next for Salisbury. Second baseman takes ball 1 from Matthew Papa, who's got to be feeling it in the arm right now. Still some action in the St. Joe's bullpen. A couple of guys have been warming up for the last few innings. 1-0 pitch, missed upstairs, 1, and took that 2-0. Gutekunst, 1 for 3 on the day. Last time he came up, he singled and stole a base in the 6th. The 1-0. In on the hands, missed the zone. 3-0. And now the St. Joe's dugout gets a little louder. 3-0. Finds the outside corner. Rudy Fernbach finally gives Papa a call. And the count's 3-1. Pitch number 116 for Anthony Papa. It's ball number 4, and it's the 6th free pass he's issued tonight. Matt Padway in next for the Seagulls. On the night, 2 for 3. A couple of singles in the 2nd and the 4th. Then he grounded out to the shortstop in the 6th. Papa takes a look over at first base in Gutekunst. First pitch to Padway, inside. The 1-0. Hard contact out to deep center field. Burnett giving chase, reaches up, and he caught it! Statue of Liberty from the center fielder for St. Joe's. He took a step in, then he realized he had to sprint back, and he The 1-0. Hard contact out to deep center field. Burnett giving chase, reaches up, and he caught it! Statue of Liberty from the center fielder for St. Joe's. He took a step in, then he... So 2 down now in the bottom of the 8th. Colby Dean in next for Salisbury. A couple of walks already tonight, plus a sacrifice bunt, so technically no at-bats for him just yet. The 0-1 from Papa. Fastball missed outside according to Firmbach. Golden Eagles dugout. Guess what? They don't approve. Moves the count to 1-1 against Dean. 328 during the regular season. The 1-1. That one's in there for strike number 2. And you can kind of feel the adrenaline for Anthony Papa. He's still popping that mitts of his catcher, Daniel Campanelli. You can see the dust kick off, and we're here in the bottom of the 8th inning, and he's up to 122 pitches. 1-2. Swung on, lifted out to right center field. Burnett is there. He's underneath. Let's go to the top of the 9th inning, tied at 2. Salisbury, the 2 seed. St. Joe's, the 7 seed, right in this one. Come back for the top of the 9th. Due up for the Golden Eagles, 5, 6, and 7. Sanderson, Rucci, and Burnett. And Connor Reeves is going back to the bump. The starting pitcher wants to finish this one off. Salisbury 2, St. Joe's 2.
Hi, how's it going? Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Well, it's all because of Andy giving me the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
There you go. Hey, listen, you were going to do the radio. This is a whole different ball.
Yes, we are. So we're live on YouTube. It's pretty fun. It's really cool. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Leading off the top of the 9th, the 3rd baseman, number 55, Tyler Sanderson.
Connor Reeves started this game. He wants to finish it for Salisbury. Top of the 9th inning, he'll get 5, 6, and 7 for St. Joe's. First man he faces, Tyler Sanderson, who steps out of the box, tried to lay down a bunt. Not sure if he made contact. We'll see what the call is from the home plate umpire, Rudy Firmbach. The pitch from Reeves to Sanderson. Inside, he ducks away. That moves the count to 1-1. Next one, chopped, fouled on the 3rd baseline. Reeves comes into this inning with more than 100 pitches already. He has been pounding the strike zone, though. More than 75% of his pitches have been strikes. That includes 8 Ks. Here comes the 1-2 to Sanderson. Golfed out to deep left center field. Canavan moving back, and he's finally underneath it after getting a good step and making the catch. Good contact from Sanderson, but Canavan is there. Reeves looking to finish 9 full innings for his 3rd straight start. Take a look at this Salisbury defensive alignment. Hugging the lines, no doubles depth as well. Trying to keep everything in front of them. Right now a 2-0 count as Reeves falls behind for one of the first times all night long. Against Anthony Rucci, now he misses outside, 3-0. Reeves in the season, I mean the numbers, we've talked about them a couple of times, but 103 strikeouts and 16 walks coming into this game. Finds the lower edge, 3-1. Tonight the ratio, even better. 8 Ks and only 1 free pass. The guy who drew that walk was Anthony Rucci. He's a pitch away from doing it again here. Hard line drive through the gap, up the gut. And Rucci is aboard with a base knock. So he's aboard for the 3rd time in as many plate appearances. He did line out back in the 2nd, but ever since, an RBI single, a walk, and now another base knock. That brings up a guy who has not reached safely yet tonight against Reeves, Matthew Burnett. A couple of strikeouts in the 2nd and then the 4th, and then a sacrifice bunts in the 7th to move over Rucci after he walked. Reeves a courtesy check at first base, making sure he keeps Rucci honest. On the season for Rucci, only tried to steal 3 times, but he was successful each time. First pitch to Burnett, in there, 0-1. Another pickoff over to first base. Burnett on the season, 343. You know you're in the NCAA tournament when a team's 7-hole hitter bats 343, and their 9-hole hitter, by the way, 356. Another pitch misses outside from Reeves. 1-1 the count to Matthew Burnett. Reeves in his last 3 starts. 8 innings against Penn State Harrisburg, 1 run allowed. 9 innings against York, no runs allowed. 9 innings against Penn State Harrisburg again, no runs allowed. Loops in a breaking ball. Looked like he might have caught the inside corner. Rudy Fernbach says not so fast, it's 2-1. So relative to his recent performance, believe it or not, this is one of Connor Reeves' worst showings in a long time. He's here in the 9th inning and he's given up 2 runs. Below his standards. Here's the 2-1. Missed inside, 3-1. Are we seeing some cracks in Connor Reeves' game? Is the stamina starting to dwindle? High chopper towards short. Ardoin on it for Salisbury. Throw to second is in time, throw to first is not. So they get the force and the lead runner. Burnett reaches safely via the 6-4 fielder's choice. So 2 down here in the top of the 9th inning. Salisbury looking to get back to the plate. They've got 8, 9, and 1 due up in the bottom of the 9th. That brings up Daniel Campanelli, the catcher, 0 for 3 so far tonight, and waves at the first pitch from Reeves. His stuff is absolute filth. Fastballs move, breaking balls, dance across the plate. You name it, he can do it. Pickoff move over to first base. Rucci is back there safely. I beg your pardon, Burnett, after Rucci was thrown out at second base. The 0-1 to Campanelli. Again, he's way out in front. This time he does get some contact. Just sends it rolling down the first base line meekly. 0-2 is the count with 2 down in the top of the 9th. Reeves up to 118 pitches, 85 strikes. He's gone the distance in each of his last 2 starts. Looking to make it 3 in a row. The 0-2 pitch to Campanelli. Swung on, right back to Connor Reeves. He snares it, throws to first. It's a complete game, 9 innings for Connor Reeves. Will he have to come out for the 10th? Let's find out. Salisbury tries to walk it off when we come back.
was Papa? Papa's been just as
Jimmy Papa. Is he back or is that some fancy? Oh.
That's why they like to call me Big Pop.
Oh.
Say that again? No.
This is like one of my what they're doing.
But this is your guy. I mean, staying in the winner's bracket is almost worth blowing this kid's arm out. Yeah, and it sounds terrible to say that, but it's like, he's your horse, man. Listen, he'll be telling that story that he beat Salisbury, you know. I threw 25 strikeouts against Salisbury, you know. Those great stories.
I walked 7 seagulls that night.
7 seagulls.
7 seagulls got free passes.
You just realized that?
I've been waiting to utilize that pen. I want to say like we're flying along, but then I feel like I'm going to jinx it.
Leading off the bottom of the ninth, the first baseman, number 23, Jay Perry.
He's there, Dave.
This is what you dream about as a little kid, thinking about playing college baseball, NCAA tournament, bottom of the ninth, tie game. Salisbury to the plate, the number 2 seed in this New York regional. First batter is Jay Perry, lays down a bunt, and Matthew Papa can't field it cleanly. Perry is aboard, jumps all over the first pitch with a bunt. It's an infield single, and that's the start the Seagulls were looking for. Papa is upset with himself about his fielding. Really can't be upset with himself for anything else he's done tonight. He's in his 9th inning as the starting pitcher. This has been your prototypical pitcher's duel. And right as I say it, we get a mound visit. Does not appear to be a pitching change just yet. Winner of this game faces Southern Maine tomorrow night. Huskies escaped with a 3-2 win earlier today over Amherst. They won that one at the final hour. In the bottom of the 8th, they scored a couple of runs after they went to that inning, down 2-1. Salisbury looking to do the same thing here and hold serve as the higher seed and win in the final moments. Jay Perry stands at first base after his bunt signal. Salisbury. Kyle Canavan, I should say, is due up. And we're going to have 2 switches here. A pinch runner, Jake Terry, takes over for Jay Perry. How about that? Feels like I'm rapping. So Jake Terry, the pinch runner over at first base. And the pinch hitter at the dish, number 9, replacing number 10. Ron Vallone comes in for Kyle Canavan. How about this? The double sub for the Golden Eagles. I should say the Seagulls. A couple of birds in this one.
Salisbury, number 9, Ron Vallone, and pinch running, number 36, Jake Terry.
And the head coach for St. Joe's, Richard Garrett, wants either an explanation from the ump, but now he wants a pitching change. Looks like we're going to have a lefty taking the hill for St. Joe's. Matthew Papa's night is over, and it was a wonderful night. Papa to the dugout, gets a standing ovation from a couple of Golden Eagles fans, and a round of applause from the Salisbury faithful as well. Just tip your cap to a guy who threw 130 pitches tonight, made it all the way to the 9th inning against the number 2 team in this region and the number 10 team in the country. New pitcher to the mound, though, for St. Joe's. Looking to escape this jam and keep this game alive and send it to extra innings. We'll take a short break, come back for the bottom of the 9th inning.
Not the Football Hall of Fame.
Nick Clemente? Oh my gosh, he's a home run. Catch up.
We've already been over this, Jimmy. He actually played at the College of St. Rose, where LaDuce played. I actually like the kid, so.
Coming in pitch for St. Joseph, number 11, Nick Clemente.
Hey, Joe, you got 1 second.
Runner at first for Salisbury, bottom of the 9th inning. They need 1 run to win. Anthony Papa's night is over. It was a fantastic night. 127 pitches, 8+ innings, allows just 2 runs against one of the best offenses in the country. The number 10 team in the nation, Salisbury, number 2 seed in this New York regional. Replaced by Nick Clemente. They go with the lefty against the lefty batter, Ron Vallone, the pinch hitter. Little gamesmanship between the 2 coaches. Vallone shows bunt, pulls it back, takes ball 1 from Clemente. Clemente, the senior lefty out of Patchogue, New York. He's a hometown guy playing for St. Joe's right in his backyard in the heart of Long Island. 1-0's got to wait, pickoff attempt over to first. Jake Terry, the pinch runner, in place of Jay Perry. Certainly a threat to steal. He's got a healthy lead over at first, and now he walks back to the back. Clemente this season, 11 appearances, 8 of them starts. 2 for the record, 54 2/3 total innings, 35 strikeouts and 25 walks, and a 5.76 ERA. Check that, 3.62 ERA. 3.62 is best ERA through 3 years in college. Did not play his freshman year. Now as a senior in the NCAA tournament. 2-0 the count to Ron Vallone, choking way up on that bat. Shows bunt again, lays it down to the right side of the infield. Sanderson, the third baseman, is all over it. He might have had a play at second with Terry moving up into scoring position. Instead, he makes the smart and the safe play. Runs down Vallone at first base. Salisbury goes back to the top of the lineup for the 5th time tonight. Justin Meekins, yet to reach via the single. He did get aboard thanks to an error back in the 2nd that scored a run. Otherwise, though, he's 0 for 4. First pitch from Clemente to Meekins, drilled out to right center field. Costa, the right fielder, moving over, puts the glove up, makes the catch through the lights. The runner will tag from second, and Terry takes third base. So now 2 down in the bottom of the 9th inning, but a runner 90 feet away from winning this game for Salisbury. Second time in a row for Meekins that he's flown out to right field. If you're head coach Troy Brohan for Salisbury, who else would you want at the plate but Jack Barry? And if you're the head coach for St. Joe's, who else would you want to pitch around but Jack Barry? Richard Garrett says, I want no piece of this. He tells Nick Clemente to intentionally walk the .423 batting average player, Jack Barry. Barry on the night so far has already walked a couple of times, so this will be number 3. Got aboard via the single in the 5th, and then he stole second base. So he'll be aboard 4 out of 5 times. in this NCAA tournament game. Here's the thing about playing Salisbury, though. You like a guy like Jack Barry. Up next is Scott Ardoin, who batted .341 this year and slugged .455 and drove in 26 runs. Ardoin digs in against Nick Clemente. Missed up and inside. Barry takes second base. No reason not to, and really no reason to throw to second if you're Daniel Campanelli, the catcher. Doesn't go down as a stolen base anyway, goes down as catcher indifference. That run does not count, or I guess it could count if he gets driven in with a home run, but it does not matter. The game-winning run's at third base. Ardoin takes strike one on the outside edge from Clemente. Ardoin, 5'9", 170 against the 6'3" Nick Clemente. The 1-1. Drops up high, 2-1. First base is open, so a walk, not the end of the world. That means you got to face Jack Decker, the cleanup hitter, who's batting .388. Here's your 2-1. Swing and a miss, way out in front of the changeup. Can you even imagine the pressure that both these guys are facing right now? A 2-2 count with 2 down, bottom of the 9th, runners at second and third. Tied up at 2 runs apiece. Salisbury and St. Joe's. Missed behind him. And how about Daniel Campanelli, the catcher, lunging over to his left behind the batter, somehow seeing the pitch and keeping it in front of him. He saved the game. Earlier today, we saw Cortland win in the 10th inning on a passed ball. That would have been a wild pitch. No one would have blamed Campanelli. He bails out his pitcher, and this game is still alive. Scoreboard loaded up. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Bottom of the 9th, tied up at 2. And I don't blame Nick Clemente for taking an extra step. Give yourself some time to think this one over before the payoff pitch of the season. Senior against senior. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And Nick Clemente is pumped up as he walks off the mound. We're going to extra innings. Clemente strands a pair in scoring position. You might be thinking after a long day of baseball, everyone wants to get out of here. I promise you, that's not the case. We're 13 hours in. Let's play some more. Going to the top of the 10th. And guess who's coming back out to pitch for Salisbury?
Right?
Connor Reeves. Back to the bump. Top of the 10th up next.
My mother wasn't in here
Everyone
right
is that
now.
pitcher right
Great job, guys.
Thanks. You listening?
I know it's the end of the game, but it's Gouda-kunst. Gouda-kunst.
now. Gouda-kunst?
That's it.
Okay.
Easy.
Thank you. Thank you. Much appreciated.
Believe me, it was painful for me when I married it.
Okay. Yeah, well, yeah.
Who's at first base? Nate Yoder?
Free baseball at Falcon Park after a long day. Couldn't ask for much more than this. 10th inning between the 7-seed St. Joe's at the plate right now and the 2-seed Salisbury. And you could argue that we have not seen a performance as good as Connor Reeves has put on tonight. Missed inside to the pinch hitter for St. Joe's in the 9-hole, Vincent Biordi. Reeves misses low and away, so it's 2-1. Biordi, number 14, pinch hitting for Tyler Craffa here in this 9-hole. Craffa 0 for 3 against the lights-out Connor Reeves. 1-1 pitch. Did he go around? Appeal to first base? Yes, he did. Dave Gabor makes the call down the first base line. And that's a big one. 2-2 the count. Reeves missed indoors. Biordi has worked a full count in his first plate appearance of the night. The payoff pitch toward the first base line. It tails foul. Every Salisbury fan just felt their heart jump into their throat for a split second. Biordi back in. Another 3-2 pitch from Reeves. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Dropped by the catcher, Padway, over to first base. K number 9 for Connor Reeves, who shows no signs of slowing down.
We have a pinch hitter for St. Joseph's.
St. Joe's
Number
goes
10,
back to the top of the
Luis
lineup,
Fontina.
and they're still going to pinch hit. Luis Fontina, the senior lefty out of Long Island, replacing Tyler Costa, the leadoff hitter for St. Joe's. Lays down a bunt on the first pitch he sees, and it rolls fouled on the third base line.
The defensive changes for Salisbury include Jake Terry staying in the game and playing left field, and Nate Yoder playing first base.
And a couple defensive substitutions for Salisbury as well. Nate Yoder takes over at first base for Jay Perry, who was pinch run for by Jake Berry in the last inning. So he's now replaced by the guy who ran for him. Instead, it's Nate Yoder taking over at first base. And now in an NCAA tournament game like this, double elimination, these coaches have some decisions to make. 0-1, ball drifts in over the outside edge. Connor Reeves is feeling it, 0-2. Because on the one hand, you need this win to get yourself into the winner's bracket. There's the 0-2. Missed outside as Reeves slipped a little bit. On the other hand, you're playing some more games. Definitely playing at least one more, and hopefully for your sake, you're playing even more than that. So for a guy like Connor Reeves, who's now above 120 pitches, you've got to wonder, when is he going to get the hook? 1-2 missed outside again. Reeves on the night, he's been as advertised. Came in top 10 in the nation in ERA at 1.22 and in strikeouts at 103. He's got 9 punch-outs so far tonight. He's given up 2 runs across 9 full innings. Make that 9 1/3 now as we're in the 10th. Luis Fontina stays alive. 2-2 is the count. Don't forget about Anthony Papa on the other side for St. Joseph's, who also threw 127 pitches. Reeves just one-upped him, 128. 129, drops in there for strike 3. This guy's superhuman. 10 strikeouts. 129th pitch, right in the perfect spot. And no one's warming up. You gotta be kidding me. Two down in the top of the 10th. That brings up Lou Doria, who, against all odds, actually got to Reeves in the first inning. Second batter of the game, he goes yard, solo, way over the right field fence. Here's the 0-1. Straight back, 0-2. And Reeves, no signs of slowing down, literally or figuratively, because he might be working more quickly now than he has been at any point all night. By the way, ever since Doria hit that solo shot in the first, he's 0 for 3. Here's the 0-2. Swung on, hard ground ball through the hole on the right side of the infield. Sixth hit of the night for St. Joe's. That's actually number 7.
Now batting, the first baseman, number 7, Paul Britt.
6 in the first 9 innings, and now 1 in extras. Here comes Paul Britt. Paul Britt is 1 for 4 on the night. Batted above 400 in the regular season. First pitch from Reeves. Missed low and away. Doria stands at first base. He's 2 for 5 with a solo shot back in the first. Paul Britt now at the dish. The 3-hole hitter started 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts in the first and the 6th. Then the double in the 8th. He was stranded at second base. 406 was the average in the regular season. As Reeves checks on the runner at first base, Lou Doria. Britt with 35 RBI in the season. He takes ball 2 here. Going to take a mashed ball to bring the runner home from first base. 2-0 is the count with Connor Reeves up to 137 pitches. Swing and a miss. It's a common refrain tonight. You insert the number of pitches for Connor Reeves and you sound in amazement, and then a swing and a miss or a strike 3. Another pickoff attempt over to first. That was strike number 100. Have you ever seen that before? 2-1, grounded over to third base. Barty is on it there. Throw over to first base in time. And Salisbury escapes the inning. Connor Reeves, go take a seat, young man. You've earned a rest, but based on the way this game is going, maybe he'll be back out for the 11th. But his batters are going to try to prevent that. Another chance to walk it off for the Seagulls. Coming up 4, 5, and 6. Starting things off, the DH, Jack Decker, who batted .388 in the regular season. Can Salisbury finish this one off in the 10th inning? Find out when we come back.
Holy shit.
Right? Oh my God.
Listen, if this guy's going to throw 140 pitches, I have nothing to complain. This guy was building a lap.
I've been talking to a bunch of people who are streaming from all over.
Oh, really?
There's a guy who goes, yeah, my wife and my kid are at home watching on TV. He goes, put it up on the